the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.
I'm the ladder kid. Make yourself famous.
A podcast covering all things WWE.
I have now returned to save the WWE.
NXT.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
And AEW.
Holy wrestling. I couldn't be more happy.
Here are your hosts, Kyle Gagliardi and Jim Tucker.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, the podcast hosted by the Marks, for the Marks. I am your host, Jim Tucker, and I am joined by my former player turned great friend, an ally in the fight, former player, says part-timer, but he's been pretty full-time compared to the regular host, Kyle Gagliardi, the last 2 weeks. Ian Garavaglia, what's going on?
What's going on? Yeah, I'm having a good night. Good Thursday night after work. Finally worked only 8 hours today, so I'll consider that a great night.
Congrats.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Yeah,
Let's go.
Putting in a lot of work at work and coming home and going to bed. That's been this week. So tonight's been perfect. Relaxing.
Yeah.
Got to sit outside just a little bit, enjoy the sun-ish, kind of sun-y. I don't know.
Well,
Not too hot,
you're
but-
just outside for a minute, but you're in that wash, rinse, repeat phase. You know, we go through them, you know, a little bit each year. I was in the wash, rinse, repeat phase, work, baseball, school, that kind of routine. Tomorrow's Friday. We got 1 week of school after tomorrow. Chaos. The inmates are believing that they are running the asylum. So we got to get arm in arm, brother, and hold down the fort with all these kids. So today we're going to talk about AEW, WWE, Forbidden Door, Dream Card. We are booking some fantasy matchups here as the crowd is rolling in, and again, talk about some obvious ones. Kind of come up with some slightly off the wall ones or different, like kind of selfish matchups that we'd like to see. If you're in the comment section, go ahead and leave some matchups as we're going through. Maybe you agree or disagree. Pick winners or losers. But before we get into the show, we got a few people rolling in. The host of the podcast, at Too Sweet Kyle on Twitter, Too Sweet. He says hi, hello from Blue Moon Brewery. He's out in Denver, Colorado, enjoying a bachelor party with the boys. Congrats to Aaron Oros, known to some in the OTSN community as the glue guy. Often participates in our Royal Rumble lotteries. What's that?
I just want to say something real quick. For the real fans of Aaron Oros, you could also know him as AO from CPFW. So look it up on YouTube if you haven't.
Shout out to the Crown Point Wrestling Federation.
Yes, AO, huge fan. Hope you continue your career. Have a good comeback after your retirement. Look forward to seeing your return match.
We got Robbie Collins in the house. Hello, guys. Hope you are well, and we are well.
Yeah,
we're not
pretty
bad.
Good.
We're not bad.
That could be worse.
We're with our fellow Marks. Got to give a shout out to Robbie Collins, active on the Discord. Not sure if people realize and or remember that we do have a Discord. We'll push out a tweet here today, tonight, tomorrow, soon. The Discord's fun because you learn a little bit more about these people in the On the Mark Wrestling community, right? Thoughts and opinions, maybe some comments that we would love wrestling people to hear, but we don't feel like sharing it on Twitter or Facebook. So as Too Sweet Kyle says, join the Discord, baby. You know it. We'd love to have you guys over there. And of course, before we get going, we do have to let the listeners know that we got merch. You're wearing a version of merch that I don't believe is available. The On the Mark Wrestling Polo, dapper dude, mustache looking great. He's got the goatee paired with the slick back hair. You know what I'm saying? He is the part-timer Ian Garavaglia. On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.com. No shows coming up this weekend or anything, so no discount code yet, but on the Mark Wrestling Podcast.com, tons of great stuff. I am still privy to the On the Mark, the honorary Mark t-shirt. Love that one. I don't know. Mine's a little weird. I think I ordered I think I clicked an option to get a different form of t-shirt. It's tight. I like the lift in it. It's very tight around my chest, and that's not a flex because like this is a normal looking t-shirt. So
is it like made out of cotton?
Kind of big. No, it is. It's a cotton shirt.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a cotton shirt, but I don't know. I got a funky one, but that's like my lifting shirt now because it is tight and I get vascular. We love a good pump in the gym on the markwrestlingpodcast.com. Get over there and buy stuff. We got bills to pay. You know what I'm saying?
And you want to rock the Honorary Mark shirt. If you are a true Mark and haven't bought your Honorary Mark shirt, you will love the design. It's the Honorary Oos shirt, but instead of Oos, it's Mark, and it's got the OTM logo in there. Proudly represent the brand. Wear it around. I wear it around, and I'm a closeted wrestling fan, but it's starting to get out there now. But I will wear it outside, and I will ask questions. And I say, hey, I part-time host a podcast about wrestling. And it's a good conversation starter, especially for those that are like closeted wrestling fans. And when they see it, they'll ask you, they'll say, that looks familiar. So if you want to
I have a great idea for a shirt.
Go ahead.
This is because I'm wearing the shirt that is inspiring it. Next year, whatever the WrestleMania logo is, Wrestle OT Mania. Thoughts? Duct tape?
Who says no?
OT. You know, I think if we use this, we're not going to use the Holly one when they come out with next year's, but we would take this logo, you would split it, kind of cut it in half, so you put the tape kind of in between, so you can still see the M. OT Mania, Wrestle OT Mania. I think it would fly off the digital shelves. Again, we use a print-on-demand service, so it's not like we're holding stock here. The stock that I'm holding is a ridiculous amount of wrestling figures that. As a 33-year-old with no kids, pros and cons.
Yeah, no,
but
it's just for the kids to play with later.
The collection will go to the kids, and you know what? If they want to open that Daniel Bryan signed figure up there and play with it in a dream match against a Bianca Belair signed figure, go ahead.
Nope, you wouldn't say yes to that.
Let's be reckless. See, Robbie Collins gets it. It's got a nice ring to it. Wrestle OT Mania. And we got to give a shout out to the real one, the head of the Vogus table. Good evening, boys. What's going on, Dirk? How are you doing? All right. So, crowd's piling in. We're having a great time. Here's what we're up to. Okay. We're just going to talk about things. If I am quick enough with the banners, we'll pop up some interesting matchups and talk about just between AEW and WWE, the Forbidden Door is happening here in a couple weeks. Do we have the date for that off the top of our head? AEW Forbidden Door, the 26th?
26th, yeah, that sounds familiar.
25th, June 25th, live at the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Canada crowds go hard. The expectation here is that it'll be no different. So you know you're going to have a hot crowd.
And they have two great matches already announced, too, which I am very much looking forward to.
Those two matches being Bryan Danielson versus Okada, correct?
Yes.
And the second match, what is that one?
That is Jon Moxley versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. Oh, no, that was last year. Uh-oh. Whoops. Bad fan. Great question. I will look it up.
Yeah, I'm wondering about that. While you're looking that up, we can call back. I came up with an opener here. You know, maybe a pre-show match, a fun little doozy of a ditty. Ricochet versus Bandito, AEW, WWE. I think a match that could steal the show if it was backed by a good storyline. I don't know where you would get it. I think that is a drawback from Ricochet is his kind of inability. He's just I am the superhero athletic guy. Turn him heel. Ricochet needs to bounce off the faces and start doing some damage potentially. I like where he's at. You know, he's getting some TV time, and I really enjoy watching Bandito. So when I was thinking of different guys right off the top of my head, okay, Ricochet is good on any card. Who could we match him up against? And then you've got other candidates, Dante Martin, a lot of high flyers over in AEW that could match well. I was thinking about Commander as well, but he's 0-4. People forget 0-4 in AEW. Ian, quick takes on the Ricochet versus Bandito matchup. I go Ricochet. And what are your thoughts on the match as a whole?
Before I say that, the other Forbidden Door matchup is the rematch between Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega, which I do believe will main event because their first match in New Japan was a show stealer. I do believe it was like a 7-star or something like that. I watched it back. Incredible match. So that's the other match that's happening. So that'll probably be the main event. Ricochet versus Bandito. You know it's going to be great wrestling. Who would I put over here in this case? Here's the thing. Lucha wrestlers in AEW are not treated well at all, except if you're a Lucha brother. I would have to put Ricochet over. I mean, they're both, I guess, technically tag team guys at this point. So I would put Ricochet over. I think the man deserves it. I feel like they must have had some match at some point, maybe in Lucha Underground at some point.
And I'm sure I'm sure it was great. I haven't seen it personally, but I think as we go down, I'm going to kind of pick and choose some like common trends. Okay, so focusing on certain wrestlers or aspects, style of matches, and the next one that we're going to go with, I don't have a banner for it, so I'll just put this one back up. Or actually, let's let the people realize who we are. Tucky and the part-timer. You get and looking at it, I like a match between Gags and I both have it, and that's Gunther versus Orange Cassidy. You've got the mid-card title pull, right? They're both strong mid-carders, but you also have match of the night potential. Orange Cassidy getting the win over Swerve Strickland, the 21-man battle royale. Who's next for Orange Cassidy? We could do a podcast itself on that. But when looking and thinking about Orange Cassidy and Gunther, comment section, give your thoughts. If that's a compelling matchup, what would you do with it? Ian?
They contrast each other so well. I would be interested because, I mean, Orange Cassidy's always worked well with, I guess Gunther would be considered a big guy. Usually he's got that striking kind of mentality, but he's a big dude. I don't think people realize that. Orange Cassidy, not as big guy. And if that was shown on the screen, it would be a drastic difference. And obviously the character work. It'd be really cool seeing Orange Cassidy kind of try to bump chest with Gunther. I think that would be a really fun match. I think Gunther would absolutely murder him. I think that's the way you should go with that. But that's my opinion. I don't think Orange Cassidy's character can carry him over Gunther. But it would be a fun match regardless.
And stepping in the door, we got Ryan Vogus. Hi, hello. Vogus, welcome. AEW Forbidden Door. Talking about AEW versus WWE Forbidden Door fantasy matchups. Robbie Collins commenting on Gunther versus Orange Cassidy, says he has the potential to be an absolute show stealer. Would love to see what they could do with it. And talking about show stealer, Forbidden Door, this AEW versus WWE would sell out Wembley quicker than AEW has. Wembley's in a great spot and have opened more floor seats and sections. I predict it will go over 70K. Last check around 66. So, and we're 2.5 months out.
I want to say this real quick. Tuck, what I want to do with my matches, because I listed my matches in like what I would do for the actual match card. So like an opener and a main event.
Oh,
so
ew.
if I could hit my opener real quick, could be a show stealer. I think Gags also said this, but I have Bryan Danielson and Seth Rollins, but in an Iron Man match, a 60-minute Iron Man match. Let's kill the crowd right away. Seth Rollins, he claims he's the Iron Man and the workhorse. He's got the title to prove it. Bryan Danielson, we all know he's a workhorse. He's an Iron Man in itself. I think that would be an absolute show stealer. Bryan Danielson already had his Iron Man match with MJF, which was a show stealer. It was the main event, and it was the match of the night. I think that could be an amazing match. Obviously for the title as well.
I really think that match again between the two. Like, do you have room for some of these? Bryan Danielson for Seth Rollins, you make room for it. I like your Iron Match stipulation. Would be interested in how Seth Rollins would, would he assume kind of what MJF did and try to outsmart him, out technical him. I think that would be a great match.
Well, and then
head to the comments section. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think you guys both have 6 matches left. It was an 8-match show card. I think we all agreed on. I'll do my 7th one to kind of balance out that Iron Man.
I don't know that I agreed on any number. Pretty inactive in the chat this week.
Good. That's all right. Let's go to the chat.
Going to the chat. Gags just wanted to remind you, Ian, that you were on video duty for clips on the TikTok this weekend.
I'm already on the Warrior show.
There you go. Robbie Collins says, have these two faced in the past? I can't even remember. That answer is yes, a number of times, whether it was in tag matches or not. One of their highest rated matches, according to cagematch.net, 9.25, but that was in a tag match. A triple 3-man, 6-man tag, Daniel Bryan, Kane, and Ryback versus The Shield, Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. A great one in that. The highest rated singles match between Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins was an 8.23. That was on October 6, 2013 on a Monday Night Raw. So they have faced off a number of times in a number of different situations, singles matches, a lot of tag matches. Obviously, Seth Rollins tagging with Roman Reigns and John Moxley, or Dean Ambrose at the time, John Moxley. A lot of 6-mans and things like that. But by my count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 singles matches between the two of them. I don't have winners and losers. Should make that match for the ROH title for old times. Things you love to read. Vogus just coming in here right off the top rope. Didn't have time to even rap like the Acclaimed. Comes in here throwing heaters. Love it. Would you like to give your next matchup, or what? You want me to?
No. Yeah, you kind of set me on a tee here because you just said rap like the Acclaim. To balance out that Iron Man match, we don't have a wrestling match, but we have a rap battle. I know this is going to excite a lot of fans. Obviously, we have the Acclaimed, but who's their WWE counterpart? We got Top Dollar on the mic in a rap battle. I think this could be hilarious. You got Rick Ross as a judge. Why not throw him in there? I think that could be a fun little segment, and would get the people moving back up after an Iron Man match.
And on the banner, I put the Acclaimed versus who? Because you mentioned Top Dollar in a rap battle, things you love to see. I think that would be a lot of fun. And again, 7 out of 10 of the allure is the Acclaim for the allure of the Acclaimed is the rap on the way. Got to see it live at Double or Nothing in Vegas. They don't miss. I had the Acclaimed in a more traditional match against the Street Profits. Obviously, there's a type here. I think the Street Profits are better in the ring, but I think the Acclaimed are a little bit more polarizing. I don't know what to say. I don't want to say better on the mic. The Street Profits are good on the mic. They just don't rap, but they dance, and we know that they want the smoke. So they are official curators of the smoke. And then you've got the Acclaim that are white hot. If their chains were not $40, their plastic Acclaimed chains were not $40, I would be maybe wearing that right now, but I did get a scissor me finger. So proud about that.
At the show, which should be signed at some point.
I don't have either of the Acclaimed, and I only have Angelo Dawkins from the Street Profits. So if you see Montez, I know they're coming out with a new one. And the Acclaimed were announced to come up in the AEW line as well.
I don't hate that.
Do you want to go in order? You want to go with your next one?
Yeah. So this match here in my third match.
Is this the triple threat?
This is the triple threat. I know this is going to get a lot of people going, especially Ryan Vogus. This is 3 big meaty men slapping meat.
And I've got a perfect one to follow up with it. Let's go.
I got Wardlow versus Bobby Lashley. Bobby versus Brock Lesnar. in a triple threat.
Oh, yeah.
Anything goes. Why not? Throw them in there. They're going to bump meat. Wardlow might come off the top rope, but he's going to slap some meat in the process. I don't know who would go over in that match. I would probably say Brock Lesnar, but Wardlow would be really enticing to see with them too in the ring.
A lot of thick daddies in that ring right there. I also came up with a big meaty men matchup. Mine's a tag match, and I was not going for vicious, athletic, thick daddies like Bobby guys that could lift up a literal house. I went with pure poundage here. So on the AEW side, we've got Samoa Joe pairing up with Keith Lee. They do have the height advantage with Keith Lee. They're going to square off against Bronson Reed and Otis. Just 6,000 pounds of man in the ring. Is it going to be a little sluggish at times? Are they going to need a breather? Yeah. Is the ring going to be needed to be double enforced? Of course.
Yeah.
Would I panic on a toss into the barricade? You know it. But Bronson Reed, Otis squaring off against Samoa Joe and Keith Lee. You got to give it. You got to give the edge there to AEW, right? Samoa Joe and Keith Lee paired together against many, and their hapless foes from the WWE end up being Bronson Reed, who is push adjace, I think they would say on the ringer, right? Like they're trying to give him something. He's just not clicking with me. Otis, former Money in the Bank briefcase winner. People forget.
Bronson Reed, he's there. I've said it before on the podcast. He's there, but it's missing something. It's missing a story on why he deserves to be good and why he deserves a title. Now it's just the point of
right. The shtick of like, he's here to mess people up. He's here to hurt people. Okay. Why? Like, what happened? Like, why does he want to hurt people? Why is he so angry? Tell me about that. Don't just say like he's here to do damage. I do agree with you on that. It's a great take.
So I'll go with my next pick here in my fifth matchup of the night. People might hate me because this isn't the main event, but Cody Rhodes is in it.
A head scratcher for me. I'm interested to hear the rationale.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not familiar. There's a why, I'm sure, but I'm not familiar with it. I love to hear it. So
I have Cody Rhodes versus Shawn Spears, but in a TLC match. They never really got to sort out their. I don't know if you remember Shawn Spears hitting Cody Rhodes in the head with a unprotected chair shot, basically killing the guy.
Oh, yeah.
That feud could be sparked back up. Give Shawn Spears something because I know that guy's good. We all know he's very good. He doesn't have a story. They're trying with him right now in AEW, but I think that could kill it, especially putting a TLC stipulation on the line. Cody Rhodes going against basically bad stipulations in his case, which he's known for, and he's really good at selling. I think this could be a really underrated match. I didn't really want to put Cody versus like a MJF. I think that's low-hanging fruit. So this was kind of like my, throw it out there, but it makes sense. I like this story. Give Shawn Spears something. It'd be fun.
And when you look at that, again, not every match on the card can be for a title. Vogus slightly critical. He says, what a waste of Cody.
That's fine.
I'll position. I will defer to Gag's pick and usage of Cody. He was going to put Cody Rhodes. Gags would put Cody Rhodes up against Wardlow. So I'm interested to see what the crowd thinks, the OTM community thinks about Cody Rhodes versus Wardlow. I think Wardlow did a great job in the ladder match. He was athletic. He hit spots. He broke a ladder because he's just a massive human. I'm interested in that matchup. That's what Gags had. Cody Rhodes versus Wardlow. We've mentioned Wardlow a time or two before, so Wardlow's definitely making the card.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
As is Cody. Cody's got to be there.
The issue I have with that match is we already saw it with this was when MJF and Wardlow were partnered up, and Cody was in the AEW company in the steel cage match. That's when Cody jumped off the top. That was my issue when I saw it. It'd be a great match. It'd still put on a banger of a match because it's kind of like that prodigy of Cody helped Wardlow break out of MJF sort of situation, but it'd be a fun match. But I'm just saying, Shawn Spears versus Cody, more of a story to tell. That's all I got to say. OTM, I'll let you decide.
Wow. Moving on, I picked a women's match because I have a type.
Oh, forgot about
You know what that type is? I know Vogus knows what the type is. My type: strong, athletic, muscular, vascular, wildly attractive. So many things. I give the edge to Bianca Belair here, both on the mic and in the ring. Jade Cargill is 60-1 now, but had a great, incredible reign. And I just think this would be fun, and I do have a type. And Vogus commenting on the Cody Rhodes and Wardlow matchup, same match he had on his card. He also agrees with me. We have a type. Athletic, beautiful, vascular.
I went into my my match card and did not bring a single women's match into that. So
nor did Kyle. You guys kind of sexist.
Here's the issue. Well, here's my reasoning. AEW women, besides Jade Cargill, which I completely forgot. There were so many men's matches. We could have like a 16 card matchup or 16 match card. So sorry. But if there was one, it would be Bianca versus Jade Cargill. I would like Jade to have a title or have that undefeated streak still, because I think if you threw Jade and Bianca in the same ring, obviously Jade, I mean, she's gotten better, but she's still pretty green. She's pretty new to the wrestling thing. So most people would be like, well, it's an easy win for Bianca. But if you threw a title on her and still had that undefeated streak, it'd be, well, maybe she's doing something right.
Yeah. And Bianca just lost too. So I think that one could be a matchup where Jade, it's kind of a surprise win, kind of a title change type match where it would make sense. But Jade Cargill would have to elevate when you are looking at comparing the women's division. You want to go into your tag match you got listed next?
Yeah. So
before that, can I add a quick women's match from Ryan Bogus? Rhea versus Riho in a loser leaves town forever match.
Well,
I get it.
I'm going to say Rhea. It was a great time at WWE. You're going to lose to Riho. Thanks for coming.
Wow. You don't mean that.
I don't mean liar. That. I am a liar. Big fat liar. But yeah, my tag match, I have pretty low-hanging fruit, but I think it's one that we need to see. FTR versus KO and Sammy. Winner takes all. Both titles on the line between the two teams. Well, I guess all three titles on the line, technically. Absolute show stealer, and I would like to see FTR win.
Triple threat with the Usos in a ladder match. But you want to get real weird?
Go for it.
Put AEW titles, WWE titles. Whoever you can climb the ladder and grab one title. So whoever ends up with the titles, those are your new tag teams. So you could end up with Dax Harwood and Sami Zayn, KO and Jimmy Uso. I just think that would be wild. It doesn't make any sense, but it would be weird.
That's a new match card. I mean, that's a new match stipulation. So I haven't seen that in a while. I like that.
That's or fun, you throw okay, here's the two tag titles. Throw 10 people in a ring in a ladder match. The first two to grab titles are now champions and partners. I think that would be fun.
Why has that not been done?
I don't know, but
you throw a bunch of singles guys in there and create a new tag team. Why has that not been done?
You guys want again? Your tag team division has to go to shit. But they've had times where it wasn't great. Right now, it's on stable footing, and they're working on building tag teams. But that hasn't always been the case. So it's like, all right, dude, you guys want airtime. Triple H has been more apparent about kind of the business side of things and talking about how Roman signed a contract where he literally doesn't have to appear. Okay, so they're talking about airtime and showtime and things like that. Put 10 dudes, 8 dudes, whatever, 6. The new tag team champions are coming out of y'all. Figure it out.
That would have been a perfect way to put Ricochet and Braun Strowman together.
Yeah, something like that. Right.
That would be perfect. It's two faces. Yeah, I love that, actually. Oh, my gosh. I'm going to talk to Tony Khan after this, by the way.
I got to call somebody. I know, right?
What do we got next?
Let me see. Speaking of FTR versus KO and Sammy, as we talked, Gags also had that on his card as well. He didn't have the all-title stipulation, but it's kind of a given, right? Let's get weird.
Yeah.
All right. You want to go? Let's go. We're in ladder matches. We will go with mine first. This is the only stipulation I came with. I was more concerned about compelling, selfish matchups, but both of these gentlemen have been on the card already, and both of them deserve to be here. Again, mine wasn't built as a card. Mine was like shooting from the hip. Yours is done much better, and I do respect that. I do have a ladder match, though, in response to my time at AEW. That ladder match is Wardlow versus Seth freaking Rollins. I'm just in love with Wardlow right now. His traps, pecs, shoulders, glutes. He's even got a butt. It's something that I'm uncomfortable talking to my wife about. Frankly,
That's okay.
we're at that level. He's on the screen, and it's just like, just one second.
Quiet Wardlow's
Hold on
on
one
the screen.
second. Come on, respect. So I think it would be a lot of fun. I don't know what the story is there. I don't know how you get them to, but Rollins would elevate Wardlow in a number of ways. And I think that's one aspect when you're looking at WWE and AEW, like if they were to put on a show and spend 3 months building a program to this show, right? Using Raw, Dynamite, and SmackDown to weave these stories in, I think both companies benefit. The AEW marks that don't watch WWE and won't might be more compelled to watch WWE too. So I think both companies could eat. I think Wardlow and this matchup specifically, what Wardlow could get after matching up with Seth Rollins, I think is pretty big.
I do like that because I think Wardlow's kind of considered a workhorse type of vibe. I don't know would a title be on the line here?
Mm-hmm. No title.
I was gonna say I don't.
They don't match, so that's why I kind of left it out. I feel the world heavyweight title, in essence, should be more elevated than the TNT strap. But speaking of ladder matches, Robbie Collins, I love this one. MJF versus The Miz, right? Great shit talkers, great chicken shitters. Who can out chicken shit the other chicken shit to walk away or climb down the ladder with a strap? I think that would be a lot of fun. What are your thoughts on that?
I love that because I wanted to include Miz in one of my matches because I think that man deserves the world, and I think he's one of the GOATs of wrestling, by the way. He's been around for a long time, and it's a great talker, and I am I love the great talkers. So
you never gosh. I saw Mike the Miz Mizanin on the Real World.
Like, yeah, at the cricket event. Oh yeah.
No, the show, the TV show. Yes, both. I saw him on the show, The Real World. That's how he became The Miz, because on The Real World, he had an alter ego called The Miz, and he wanted to be a WWE wrestler, and that's how he got on Tough Enough.
I did not know that, to be honest. I saw all the stuff about Tough Enough. I watched that, but I did not know before.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And so when he came in, he had to battle the stigma of being, from the real world and things like that.
Interesting. Okay. I might have to go back and watch that, honestly.
Indeed. We're going to use a Gags match to lead into the next match on your card, if we may. Gags, a classic banger here. What do you know? Have them both come out at the same time to the Gangrel theme music with Gangrel. Just get bloody, and then they get to the ring and get weird. Edge versus Christian. Both. Edge is not around right now, but Christian is he's present, and he has a presence on Dynamite and AEW programming. So realistic. I don't know how great the match would be. I don't know. Rough. It's because it's not my hybrid. I love everything. Like I'm not like Young Bucks level choreography type love, but just athletic dudes doing athletic things. That's where I'd be at.
Yeah, I would love to see this match again. Throw a stipulation in there or two, because I think they might need it. Maybe like anything goes, Extreme Rules kind of thing. Use weapons, because if it's in their prime, wow, what a match they put on. I mean, they've had one before, had many before, but that would be incredible to see nowadays.
Too Sweet Kyle getting hard. He said, "Did someone say blood?" He bleeds for the BCC, all caps. You know it. Did not mispronounce it like Hangman Page on Dynamite, calling it the BBC. That's kind of embarrassing. I think it'd be a fun match. Can we get the entrances right? Like if we get the entrances, put them through a table or something, they'll be all right. Is Edge coming back?
Eventually, but you know what? He will be coming back in my match here. This kind of sets me up, like you said, into my match.
Well done.
I mixed the Young Boys and the Old Boys together. I have Private Party versus Street Profits versus Hardy Boys versus Edge and Christian, WWE and AEW team, in a ladder match.
Love it.
Hardy Boys and Edge.
It's a hybrid. Keep going. Sorry.
No, Edge and Christian and Hardy Boys, they're together just to, it's the nostalgia. They're the ladder match guys. We all know that. But Private Party and Street Profits, if you put them together in a ladder match, they could carry the athleticism throughout the entire match. Doesn't need a title on the line. Maybe like a title shot or something for the tag titles. Why not? Money in the Bank tag title. Make it happen.
Number one contendership. Yeah.
Why not? I think that would be
titles
incredible.
of your choosing. I agree. That would be a lot of fun. And when we're looking at four-way tag matches, Gags has one of his own. Looking at it out of this foursome, I got it. I'm going Street Profits. I got to go Street Profits here. If anyone in the chat disagrees with me, you can all go to hell. I mean, comment below.
Right. It's got to be one of the Young Boys, and it's not going to be Private Party. I think the Street Profits is the way to go. Edge and Christian, they can
I love the Private Party's gin and juice finisher though. Very nice.
Off the ladder, could you imagine? Springboard up there off the ladder. Whoo! Do it.
One of my favorites, so much that it is in the intro video, if you do recall.
That's true. That is true. That is in there. I was going to recall to that, and I completely forgot.
Gags' four-way match has a much different vibe to it. Definitely went in a different direction. He's talking about power and prevalence. He's got superstars. He's got dark elements between both brands. The Elite versus the Bloodline versus the House of Black versus Judgment Day. Four-team tag match, 8-man tag, four versus four.
Technically, this could be 3-man for each team. That's a lot of people.
That is a lot. You're talking about actual literal anarchy in the arena.
I mean, if you do like a kind of Rumble style match, Battle Royale kind of match, throw them over the rope, I could see that working. But having 12 guys on 4 separate teams, that'd be fucking insane. It's gonna have to be like an anarchy match if it's not a Battle Royale match. It's gotta be something. But that'd be fun.
No kidding. I'm typing up a banner for Gags right now in his next ladder match. Why don't you take us to your next match?
Mine's running off the same exact idea. I think this one is a pretty easy one. This is my low-hanging fruit. I had Bloodline versus the Elite in a trios match for the trios titles. They're going to have to get the titles back, but wow, that would be incredible. I want to say no stipulations, honestly. Could be a spot fest. Don't care. You got Solo Sikoa. I guess him and Kenny Omega would be facing each other. That'd be kind of a fun little, I guess, matchup in there. And then you got the Usos and the Young Bucks. Obviously, that speaks for itself. We've always wanted to see it. We're still wanting to see it. Maybe we'll see it one day. But I think that could be pretty fun. A lot of athleticism there. Maybe a lot of spots, but there's a story to tell, and they would tell the story.
I agree. And there's between the vibe and the energy between the two, right? You've got the Bloodline who, they are the ones, and you have the Elite. They're literally called the Elite, right? So both, regardless of gold, no gold titles, both of these tag teams or both of these factions, stables, trios, are under the impression that they are the ones compared to anybody else in their respective companies, and they both believe that they're the best in the world. I think that would be great. Vogus, Bloodline versus the Elite versus the Blackpool Combat Club in a War Games style match. Love it.
I don't hate that. I didn't actually even think about having a War Games match in there. I guess this would be my War Games, but if I was going to do that, it would be the 4 of them in the Bloodline. 5 of them. Throw Paul Heyman in there. And then
Yikes.
the Elite.
In a singlet? In a singlet.
Yes. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do suit, but without the suit shirts, just like the white wife beater underneath,
No, I want to see him in the Andre the Giant singlet.
Oh, God.
Comment in the chat what you would what Paul Heyman's ring gear would be. That's a debate I didn't know we'd be having tonight. Vogus also had Judgment Day versus House of Black trios solely for the Dom and the buddy of it all, Rhea Ripley. There's a story there, right?
Rhea Ripley in the middle of the ring, hanging off over the ladder. You got to grab Rhea Ripley off the ladder. I like it. That's fun.
No kidding. My ladder match is out of the way. I had the Usos as well, squaring off against the Young Bucks. Trying to pick kind of a different style of matchup. Young Bucks versus the Usos. Not much to say about it. You know what we would get. Our next matchup that we're going to talk about is an 8-man ladder match. And Ian, why don't you read the candidates?
No, all right. We got Jon Moxley versus Austin Theory versus Hangman, Adam Page, Bobby Lashley, Darby Allin, AJ Styles, Chris Jericho, and Drew McIntyre. I'm going to say this real quick. I think this was Gag's way of saying, wait, I forgot about that guy, and I forgot about that guy. And he just said, we're going to have them all go into an 8-man ladder match. Gags, don't refuse that, because that is exactly what happened. Would be a fun match. I wouldn't know who would win, honestly.
This is the 4-team tag team showcase match to kick off WrestleMania here. But if we got this to kick off the show, an 8-man ladder match with the star power of these guys, like, dude, think about good wrestlers in each company that are continuing to get thrown into the battle royales, but they're not. Ricky Stark's not on a card, right? Like. And when you're putting 8 people together of that caliber, I think you're in really good shape too. Robbie Collins throwing a tag match out there that I love personally. He said Young Bucks versus Pretty Deadly. Yes, boy. Friday night snack down, a delicious treat for all of you. If you're listening to this on Friday, tune into Pretty Deadly. They're great. I'm hopefully 9 days away from finally cracking the Yes Boy shirt out. Ooh. If I PR at this half marathon, I can't wear it. I have not put it on until I PR. I know I will PR on July 1st because I've never run a 12-hour race. So after one lap, I could put it on if I want to do that. But that's a cheat. That's a hack. I don't love it. Robbie Collins commenting on Gags 8-man ladder match. He's got Jericho winning. I have Jericho coming in 7th place, honestly. I don't know what that means, but
I have Austin Theory winning.
Oh, you would?
I would.
And I would too. I love his biceps. What a man. What a man. What a hunk. Looking at your we got mine out of the way. The only other one I had on there just for fun was Jamie Hayter versus Asuka. I think that would be fun. Champions, similar types in regards to like athleticism and build. I thought that one would be fun. The two of you have the final match being the same one, and that is the head of the table versus the devil. Roman Reigns versus MJF. I'm throwing a banner up on the screen. Ian, give your thoughts.
Again, another low-hanging fruit match. You got champion versus champion. The untouchable versus the unreachable, as people would say. As I'm saying, I'm pointing that term, by the way. That's pretty good. MJF could talk. We all know that. Roman, not much to talk about with him. He's been holding the title for so long, over 1,000 days. Not much to say bad about him. But you know what? MJF knows the corporate industry. He could dig deep. He could say, you know what? Roman, you've been toying the business. You got in the dirt sheets. You're working the title. The amount of stuff that MJF could talk about Roman Reigns and then leading up to this match. I mean, Gags, I'm glad we're on the same page with this one. What a match this would be. It could go on for an hour. I don't care. Give it to me. But here's my thing. I didn't throw it on the sheet, but I think this needs to be in a steel cage. It needs to be just them, or just a Hell in a Cell, honestly. It needs to be just them. No outside interference.
What are your thoughts on maybe putting this one in the Punjabi prison match?
I'm in. Why not? I don't care. Whatever it takes to put him in there.
Are you familiar with the Punjabi prison match?
I am. The great Khali, he introduced it to the company.
Correct. So there are 2 cages made out of bamboo to get out of. Okay. So there's an 8-foot tall or 10-foot tall bamboo cage surrounding the ring, the square. On the outside of that, there's a 16-foot tall octagon-shaped fence. In order to win, you have to get through both fences. Okay. But here's the stip. This is where the prison element comes into the Punjabi prison match. Didn't think you were getting this tonight on the Mark Wrestling Podcast, did you? Hashtag, you're welcome. There's 4 doors. Okay. 2 doors on each cage. The door can be opened one time by either competitor. It can only be opened once, and it will only stay open for 60 seconds. If you don't get through the door in that 60 seconds, it's closed and locked. Okay. The only other way to get out is to climb over either or both set of bamboo cages, but there's spikes at the top. Love it.
With poop on the end, so if you get stabbed at all, you're dead.
Ew, poopy
Right?
spikes. Don't love it. Well, Roman Reigns versus MJF, you know you'd get an epic clash. You have the Devil versus the Goat. I do like the new Roman Reigns t-shirt. Robbie Collins lives for the Punjabi prison match. Poor Orton, man, thought he had it, and Khali screwed him over.
Bogus has some great entries, by the way, with matches.
He does. And since we have wrapped up the Roman Reigns versus MJF talk, why don't we go to MJF versus Cody? Winner defends the undisputed WWE AEW heavyweight champion on both shows going forward. Kind of almost kicks it back to the older territory days where you could kind of be a traveling champion among brands, and you were, Hulk Hogan would wrestle here and then go here, kind of move, almost have residencies, bouncing back and forth between the two. You're talking about star power. That is star power. No kidding. And then he's got another fun one, Stone Cold versus CM Punk in a street fight. I think that would be a lot of fun. Stone Cold loses, I quit. Moxley versus Reigns in an Ambrose Asylum match. May have to rename it, but I want to see that plant pot again. I think that would be fun. I don't know what you would rename it, but that would be another fun one. So many stories, so many compelling stories. And Forbidden Door coming up here in a couple weeks, right? So it'd be a week from Saturday, I believe. Excitement level right now is fine. I just sometimes it feels like they take forever to build some of these stories,
Yeah, and yes, it is on a Sunday, so it is almost exactly 2 weeks from now, from this Sunday that's coming up.
Tune in live 2 weeks from this Sunday.
The only thing I'm excited for as of right now is that the match between Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega. I think they're going to remake Magic again. I'm excited for that match. I don't care what else they throw in there. I will tune in live for that one. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Shell out my $50 and be able to rewatch it instead of paying $175 for my tickets and not being able to watch it. Can't wait for that. 2 weeks from Sunday, we've got AEW Forbidden Door. Now, a little random generator game that I kind of came up with on the fly here in the last few minutes. What we're going to do, I have an AEW wrestler generator matchup, and I have a WWE wrestler generator matchup game. So I'm gonna click it, and then if they're in the company, I'm gonna keep it in the company still. We're gonna get a wrestler, and then we have to match them up with their AEW or WWE counterpart to create some kind of random hoofed, maybe mentioned some wrestlers that haven't been thought of or brought up, or we wouldn't find room on a traditional card. Let's get weird. We're going to start with an AEW wrestler. This first one for you and the crowd is Powerhouse Hobbs. Okay. So Powerhouse Hobbs from AEW, paired up with someone from WWE. Do you have somebody?
Bobby Lashley. Put Bobby Lashley and Will Hobbs in there. We got two powerhouses. Show off the guns a little bit. That could be pretty fun. That's my pick. I'm going to say Bobby Lashley goes over, stays over. But it would be a hell of a match, and I think it could sell pretty well. It'd be fun.
Yeah, I think that would be a really fun matchup. When I'm thinking about who would I want Powerhouse Hobbs to face, I think Bobby Lashley's a great candidate. Obviously, do they have someone of that ilk, younger, right? Younger, jacked, athletic.
Ooh.
You have Austin Theory.
Here's another one. I might just give you an answer right here. Braun Breaker.
Similar ilk. I can see that.
And right
similar style, kind of profile.
Right on cue. Robbie Collins agrees with me. So
that is really weird that happened, but that is also true. Ian said it as Robbie was typing it. Powerhouse Hobbs versus Braun Breaker. I think that one would be a lot of fun. You want to go to the next one? Let's pick a WWE guy. Gonna randomize it until I find there are a lot of old ones here. The first, we got to skip that one. It said Cody Rhodes. Here's one: Rey Mysterio. Okay, who would you match up? WWE sends Rey Mysterio. Who does AEW send to counter?
This could be controversial because I don't know if he's technically with the company, but he's with a brand of the same company of AEW. Vikingo.
Okay.
Iho. I don't know if he's with the company, but that'll be a fun match. Is it Rey Mysterio now?
Well, this is we can he's of the ilk. Vikingo has been on AEW programming. I think it counts.
Okay. I was gonna say if it's Rey Mysterio now, I don't know if I'd agree. I would say that, but if it's Prime Mysterio, I mean Vikingo and Mysterio would absolutely tear the house down in a lucha match.
I agree. I think another candidate would be Commander. If you're trying to put over a younger guy, similar styles, compelling matchup. I'm kind of scrolling through the AEW roster here, and what about Ricky Starks versus Rey Mysterio?
Oh,
that could be a fun one. Or you have a Dom Ray-ish build with a young guy like Sammy Guevara. Zero mentions of. When you think of the pillars, dude, we only mentioned two. One of them got mentioned for the world title match in MJF. Darby was thrown into a match. The other two, Jack Perry, Sammy Guevara, no mentions.
That's true. Well, again, that's another thing. It's just the character work. I think that really kind of just it's a telltale sign of you need a character to be over. But it's I don't know. AEW it's still a work in progress, and I think that turning point's going to reach with Jungle Boy, especially. I think he's starting to reach that point, maybe a heel turn. So, but I do like that.
Vogus goes Mysterios versus Lucha Bros. I think it would be a lot of fun. A lot of work on WWE's end to get Ray and Dom back together at this point, isn't it?
It would take a little bit.
Robbie Collins, he wants Jack Perry versus Noam Dar. Did I say that right? I'm not familiar.
Noam Dar. I'm not familiar with Noam Dar. I know who he is. I know he's an NXT UK guy. I'm not super familiar with his work. He was in the cruiserweight division in WWE a while ago. Had a good run there. He was in NXT, I want to say, normal NXT, and he got moved over to the NXT UK. He won the cup there, I do believe. Might still be the champion. I'm not sure. Could be completely wrong, but I do know who he is.
I do know him.
Correct.
I think it's I think it's time that we wrap this show up. Don't beat a dead horse. We had fun. We played games. We love in comments and interactions on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, etc. Your dream matches, your fantasy card, AEW versus WWE, who you picking, who's a what's it, stipulations, go crazy. You could talk for hours and hours and hours, and I don't know that you could settle on the perfect card. You know what I mean? Between the two.
I mean, you could start your own brand between the two brands and throw pay-per-views on every single week and get a new match that's brand new, and it will tear the house down every single time. Be great for business.
Yeah. But maybe it would be terrible for business.
Probably.
Because you have too many, you know? Too many. Yeah, I think so. Before we give out the MVM award, people, don't forget on the markwrestlingpodcast.com for all your merch needs. We'd love if you would support us. Help pay the bills. And ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the MVM. It is that time. A couple compelling candidates here for us, but between the two of us, we had the same vote and the same mind. Ladies and gentlemen, this week's OTM MVM, Ryan Vogus. You'll love it. You'll love it. Compelling matchups, good thoughts, as Vogus is known to have. Vogus not in Colorado right now.
That is true. Robbie Collins came in earlier to the show. He was I think he was the first one to comment on the show, give us some opinions. But he kind of went took a little hiatus, and that's when Ryan Vogus, like you said earlier in the show, came from the top rope with some bangers of picks, and threw some fun jabs in there, and it was entertaining. Ryan Vogus, King, congrats. You deserve it.
Speaking of Ryan Bogus, a few people know this, but he's doing some cardio. He's been working on the legs. He's a man of the bike, if you will. And I said he's getting ready for his first bike race. He replied with, in 10 years. So in 3,649 days, 14 hours, and 53 seconds, Ryan Bogus will be not only probably still MVM, but also racing his first bike race. You'll love to see it. He's got a good wiffle ball season ahead too. That I'm kind of getting jealous about that. My wiffle ball career is non-existent out here. So
not dead yet.
Ryan Vogus drawing all the praise. He's the man. And who? But woo! Ryan Vogus is the man. You'll love to see it. Robbie Collins showing some sportsmanship, fair play. Great show again, guys. Going to be trying to put together a card now all weekend. And when you do, put it out. Put it out. Tag us. We'll retweet it. We'll give us your thoughts and comments. He's also probably going to post it in the Discord. Remember, there will be a tweet coming from Ian Garavalia very soon on the Mark Wrestling Podcast Twitter, tweeting out the Discord instructions because I don't know how. All right, ladies and gentlemen, visit the OnTheMarkWrestlingPodcast.com. Congratulations to Ryan Vogus on the MVM. Next week, we'll be back at it, same time, same place. Will Gags be here? I don't know.
Who knows?
Ian, final thoughts before I send it home.
Very fun show. I love this concept of the Forbidden Door. Last time we did it, I believe it was 2019. So it was kind of fun to revisit it. I hope you guys enjoyed, the listeners. But yeah, leave your thoughts in the Discord. We'll talk about it. But yeah, it was a fun little show. Thanks for having me, Tuck.
And thank you for joining us, part-timer, full-timer lately. If you're interested in joining the conversation at Pot on the Mark on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, we are on Facebook on the Mark Wrestling Podcast. We are also on YouTube. And, sometimes we post stuff that we don't go live on. Sometimes we post stuff on YouTube that we don't record, put out there, audio version. No, YouTube. Check it out. If you're on YouTube right now, hit the like button and subscribe. We really appreciate it. As always, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, thank you for listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.